So welcome. So welcome to what's going to be a mix tonight of yang meets yin. But the yin aspect is about, I think, a little bit of restorative yoga. So it's not holding poses for huge amounts of time. But we're going to start with some flow. We'll start with obviously connecting the breath, and then we're going to work through some nice solid core work, I think. See where it goes. So we're just going to take a moment and just allow yourself to connect. It's like coming back to your own little sanctuary on the yoga mat. Just allowing the body to relax. Maybe taking a big breath and just allowing the shoulders to just gently slide down the back as you just take your gaze down the chin to the chest. And then all the way back up. And we're just going to take our neck and just explore. So just maybe even just dropping the nose and drawing a big half circle, or maybe pausing so you can just nod a yes and a no, or just movement wherever it feels like it's doing some good. Maybe just, I find this quite hard, but just drawing the shoulders up, maybe shrugging the shoulders, even allowing the hands just into the back of the neck and drawing the elbows together, rounding the spine as if you would into cat-cow. Breathing into this stretch, maybe taking the arms forwards, really take some space through the fingers here. And then we're going to take our arms behind us. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our right arm and we're just going to pop it behind us. And I've just seen how slouched I am, that's appalling. And then draw the arm behind you so the palm is facing towards you and you're opening here. So we've got a little stretch going on across the chest. It's a real chest opener here. And then if you want to, you can draw the neck down, you can draw the neck across to the side, you can look up gently. Be careful, you're going to be stretching quite a lot here. And just take a moment, it might just be it's even stillness and the gaze is forwards. And you're just working on that opening across the chest. And remember that breath, breathing into this. And then we're going to gently release and come to the other side. So the hand, the palm facing out, and draw yourself in. Have I done that right? Yes. One side is so different to the other. Now that's really interesting. One side felt like it was like, oh my goodness me. The other side's like, what are you talking about? That's not a stretch at all. So that's really interesting for me. So we're all holding tension in different ways. And just take a moment, just exploring that movement. Even maybe drawing the shoulders a little closer together. And then we're going to release really gently. Draw the hands all the way forwards and just arch through that back, rounding the spine, taking the chin to the chest. And then inhale, lift the hands up all the way and soften and allow the shoulders to move. Exhale, hands are going to come just gently behind us. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And when your arms are just in this kind of cactus arm shape, maybe just drawing the nose back and forwards. And then we're going to come forward. So place the hands and take the feet underneath you. We're going to come to cat-cow position. And we're just going to explore a bit here as well. So we're loosening up the body. You can leave the toes flat or you can leave the toes tucked, totally up to you. And we'll spread the fingers, little bend in the arms, come into that just stacked back position. And then we're going to drop the chest forwards. Not cat-cow, working on shoulder shapes here. And then we're going to push away from the mat. Allow the shoulder blades to really spread across the back. You are coming into a version of cat here. Come back to that neutral spine position. And then push the chest forward as you feel the shoulder blades come together. I'm looking between my thumbs here. Push away into that little cat. And then all the way back to that neutral spine position. And just explore here. Keeping a soft bend in the elbow if you're just coming forwards. Allowing the shoulder blades to come together. Pushing away. And then coming to neutral. And just have a play with that back and forwards. And see if it starts to move a little bit of tension or allow you to work that upper body. There was a bit of a theme in class last week. Didn't realise quite so how much we were actually working the upper body. But it's just awareness of those shoulder positions. And then we're going to take a dynamic cat-cow. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little wave here. So we're going to arch our back and sink towards the heels. And then scoop forwards. And then back and forwards, take a little wave here. You can do this as fast and as slow. It might be that you just want to pause in a stretch. Maybe taking to one side. Allowing yourself just to explore this movement here. And keep the arms and hands soft so that you're not pushing into the mat too much, that you're allowing the wrist to be a little freer than normal. And you're also using the body to be able to kind of take the majority of this movement, the muscles, that core starting to work. Lots and lots of organic movement. You might even want to, here we go, I'm going to totally off my plans now. Take the left hand to the edge of the mat, walk the right hand in front and come into a little cat-cow here, which is quite a nice thing. Gets another part of the lower back and gives you a side stretch. Now, I can't tell you exactly where you're going to feel things because our bodies are different, only indicate. Working with the breath here. Moving to the other side if you wish, so the right hand comes to the edge, the left hand in front. And just work gently back and forwards here. And then we're going to come just back onto our knees and just come take a moment. And you can sit if you wish in a hero variation and just allow the heels just to tuck in between. If it's not comfy, sit on a block or a blanket. And we're going to extend the right arm. We're going to really stretch at the beginning and open that left arm and see if you can just draw the two together behind you. They might reach, they might not. Again, playing with that gaze. It might be the gaze is out and that's good. You might be looking away. You might be looking down. Watch the neck. Move slowly. Stretch and reach. Big stretch. Draw the opposite hand up. Opposite hand into the small of the back. And then draw one behind you. And feel the difference on one side. a 2-hour meeting today online. We weren't allowed to move because we were in a frame. And I can feel it. And then stretch all the way up. And hands to the heart. We're going to play with a new flow that I've discovered. I think you'll like this one. So, a different version of Cobra. Now, if at any point this gets too much, take a child's pose. And our vinyasa, we're going to take the knee, chest, nose vinyasa tonight, just to start with. So, we're going to come to that step back position. And we're then going to come to a floating cobra. So what we need is the arms where they would normally be, and tuck the toes. So you're going to bring the toes behind you, hip width apart. Now we're almost in plank here, but what we're now going to do is drop the hips and take our gaze up forwards, our heart open, floating cobra. And just take a moment here. And then we're going to bring the right knee in and bend and arch into the knee. And then draw the knee back and the foot behind and up. So we come into little scorpion variation. Knee comes in, knee to nose. Foot comes up, foot towards head. Don't go overboard on this with the lower back, knee to nose. Back foot and up. Knee comes in. And we're going to just slip into Wild Thing here, right at the beginning, into a lovely big stretch. Again, push the hand away from the mat. Allow space between that bottom shoulder and your ear. Maybe even looking down here rather than up. Back to the mat. Draw the knees, sweep to child's pose. You can even keep the toes tucked here and keep a really active child's pose with a big stretch through the body. Inhaling and exhaling into this. It was really interesting. I was reading an article last night, and it was about the concept of stretching in yoga. We're not stretching the muscles. We can't stretch the muscles. Muscles are there to do a job, but we can stretch the connective tissue, and that gives us that flexibility. And then all the way forwards, coming back to that floating cobra. So come into that plank position, then drop the hips, open the heart and look forwards. And then knee comes in, we round the spine, knee to nose. Heel goes back and lifts a little, bending the knee. Knee comes into the nose. Heel comes back, bend at the knee, gaze comes a little forwards. Knee comes all the way forwards, hover that knee. Maybe allow it to slide the other side. And actually we've come to a little falling star here, actually. It's not really a Wild Thing. Pushing away from the mat. Push into the side of that foot that extended. And then hands all the way to the mat. Draw yourself back to a little plank here. And then from plank, we're going to vinyasa. So keeping the toes tucked, we're going to draw the knees to the mat. Scoop the chest forwards, chin to the mat, allow ourselves into cobra, flatten the feet. Exhale. Inhale, cobra. And exhale all the way down. Bring the toes towards the body, allow the hands forwards and draw yourself up into a little Egyptian lion with the feet curved. Push into the forearms. I'm not sure how this track got in here. Don't actually recognise this music. Hey ho, we'll go with random. And then bring the feet all the way down. and really push into the pelvis, push into the forearms, and then sweep the hands all the way behind you, palms facing up, shuffle the toes away from yourself, tuck your chin, and inhale, lift into a little locust pose. And while we're down here, we're just going to try, I told you it's yang meets yin. So we're going to just keep prone on the mat. Extend your arm out to the side. This is quite a strong pose for the upper body, so just beware as you do this. Your opposite hand is going to come with its palm, so it's almost like a little cobra but out to the side, a stabilizer, bending at the elbow. What I'm going to gently do is going to bring my head down to the side of the mat and gently roll towards that shoulder. Bend the knees if you wish. We get quite a shoulder stretch here. It's a big shoulder opener. So just be very gentle with this one. Inhaling and exhaling. This is a very random track. There you go. All the way back to center. And then extend the opposite hand. Allow the hand to come to that little stabilizer pose. And then gently open the body and roll onto the other side. So you're pushing gently. So you can do this at the wall as well. If you hold your arm up at the wall. And then all the way back to center. Bring yourself all the way up. Stacked back position. Push gently away from the mat. Engage the fingers with the mat. Open the wing. Inhale out to the side. You can lift up if you wish and float the arm all the way through. Thread the needle. Don't even need to bring the head to the mat. If you don't wish, you can if you want to. Inhale, open, we float. Exhale, that sounds a wee bit better. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread. All the way back to the mat, work the other side. Open as much as you want. I think we're going with an autumnal equinox, organic movement, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of restorative. Working through the hand. All the way back. And we're going to walk ourselves to down dog. Really gently lifting those hips. Padding the feet. Walking the hands wide, walking the feet wide. Explore shape. And then bring yourself back. What I want you to do, keeping some weight in those feet, I want you to just push away so you're not dipping the shoulders through the arms. I want you to lift and push away a little so we start to get space between our ears and our shoulders rather than having our head right down dipping towards and wearing our shoulders and our arms like earrings. So we're using what we were practicing in that cat-cow to give us some integrity in the back. So I can feel those shoulder blades have really stretched. Then I can allow my back to work with the core, and I can allow the neck to relax and look at the knees. So I'm not dipping through and not putting that strain on the shoulders. We're going to inhale, exhale over. Bring yourself back to plank. Bring the knees, bring the chest, chin, all the way into little cobra here. Exhale all the way down. Bring yourself all the way back up to down dog. Anchor the left foot, inhale the right foot. Knee to nose. Three-legged dog. Knee to nose. Back to three-legged dog. And draw that foot all the way to the front of the mat to low lunge. Bring yourself up to low lunge, bringing the hands gently to the knee and push into the knee. That's going to allow us to lift that top body. Chest is open. Inhale, arms gently rise, softening the arms. Hands are going to just help here as we peel back and come into a little runner's split. And gently bringing that body down will allow us just that hamstring stretch. Rolling all the way forwards, back up. Sweep the hands. And just by pressing into the feet, the shin, and also just lifting up the body so the core gently engages, we allow our shoulders to be soft. Hands are going to come just inside the foot. Walk that foot out. Step just onto the edge of the mat. And then draw that knee up if you wish. Allow the outer hand to stay on the mat as we open, either drawing the hand up or the hand into the base of the spine, and we turn towards the knee. Base of the spine gives us a little bit of support, but you can extend as well. And again, wherever the neck is comfy here. Frame that foot, walk that foot back in, runner's lunge, open, looking forwards. And then just rock back and forwards. On the feet, draw yourself to forward fold. Take a moment here, maybe feeling that you've stretched out a little bit more, bending the knees. I'm going to inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Push as hard as you can into the feet. Lift yourself up all the way back. So the top body comes back up in one piece, rolling the shoulders. And just take a moment here, just padding the feet. Hands can come to the heart. Really slowly if you wish. And then come to stillness, into Tadasana. Sweep the hands, inhale, lift, draw up onto the tiptoes. Hands come to the heart. Cross one leg across the other and maybe just sink a little. Slide that foot down so we come into a little cross-legged fold. Bend at the knees. Step the back leg to the mat. Step the opposite leg with it back into plank. From plank, shift the weight gently forwards. Knees, chest, chin, or full chaturanga. All the way back down, push to down dog. Lifting the hips. Again, walking here. Allow weight into the hands and the feet evenly. Bend the knees, lift the hips. Allow that core to engage, and then think about their shoulders. Are we pushing our shoulders close to our ears, looking at our knees? Or are we allowing ourselves to push away a little round the spine? Well, not even round the spine, so we don't want to do that in down dog, but allowing a little push of the hands to push the shoulders away from the ears, and then allowing ourselves that drishti. And then making sure we're bending our knees to allow our sit bones high. So much to think about in down dog. Anchor the opposite foot, inhale, tripod, three-legged dog. And then knee all the way rounding into the body. All the way back. Knee into the body. All the way back to three-legged dog. And all the way through to low lunge. Draw yourself up into low lunge. Maybe allow the back foot to flatten. Maybe push away, lifting out the hips, lifting. It will give you a little bit of height here if you push onto that front knee. And then allow that real firm base to lift the arms. They float. Frame, we're going to come to that little split, so that half split with a really sticky yoga mat. You might need just to wobble your foot forwards a wee bit. Breathing into this. And then allow yourself to roll forwards on that foot and come into a little lizard variation. So the foot comes to the side of the mat. Allow the back knee to raise. And then if you wish, sweep the arm high or just draw open so the hand comes into the small of the back. Your choice. Allowing again the shoulders not to collapse towards the ears, but pushing away and opening that chest. All the way back down. Frame the foot, step to plank. Take a little shuffle back and forwards here. And then shift the weight forwards. You can either take a full chaturanga or you can take knees, dip the chest, lift the chin, and all the way back up. Meeting in down dog. From down dog, we're going to step the right foot forwards into a warrior position. Warrior two, rising up strong. Find your base pose first. Really finding that you're pushing into the toe mounds and then the heels. You're really sinking those feet on the floor. And again, drawing that core. So we're not allowing the body to shift forwards. We're upright. Tuck that tailbone just gently under and allow the hands to float. Gaze is where it's comfy, so it might be out, it might be forwards. And then we're going to just play with the arms and the breath. And we're going to straighten the leg as we move. So we're going to turn the palms, inhale, lift. Exhale, sink to warrior two. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, sink. If we do this really slowly and float that top body, we start to really feel the base pose of warrior two, where we should be, because we tend to sink forward, so just be aware of that. Push back into that back heel. Inhale, lift, so we lift that front leg. Exhale, sink, push into that back heel. Hand just slides into the small of the back, reverse warrior. and then draw all the way down to a little side angle variation, either the hand in the small of the back or extending the arm, wherever you fancy. You can take a little bind if you wish, and take the fingers, just gently tuck them in to just that hip, where the hip meets the thigh, and allow a real shoulder opener here. And breathe into this as we just slow the pose down here. Pushing into the feet will allow you to take weight out that hand. And then inhale, lift all the way back up to that warrior position, warrior two. We're going to come to the side of the mat, drawing the feet in. Just that wide fold position. Interlace the fingers behind you, draw open the chest and gently bending the knees, engaging the core, come down. Come to halfway if you wish. Any tension in that lower back, bend the knees even more. And you might have the hands interlaced behind you, or they could come to the small of the back. Just have an experiment of where that feels good. And then allow the hands to slide towards the mat. Maybe even walk the hands forwards away from you. Stretching through that top body, bringing the hands maybe to fingertips. And then push through the feet. We're going to come all the way back up. So we come to halfway, and then we try and push as hard as we can through the feet to allow that top body to come up in one piece. And then heel toe or hop to the centre of the mat. Come to the top of the mat. Just so can I see you, I'm going to come to this side. Step to warrior two. Push into the toe mound, that under the big toe. Push into the heel and the side of the foot. Allow yourself to tuck that tailbone just gently under. And then feel the core just gently start to engage. We don't lock all the way through yoga, but we just have it gently to support us when we need. And then float the arms. Sink into that knee. I think I must have had an alternative Sunday when I put this soundtrack together, because it's just, we can do chill jazz. I think I called it creative flow, so I guess that goes. And then inhale, we lift the arms. Push into those feet. Exhale, sink. Feel the arms float. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come back to warrior two and float. And just work here with the movement and the breath. Really feeling that foundation in the feet before you come to settle into warrior two and allow that reverse warrior. Lift and stretch. You can really feel those feet as if you are, I don't know, Spider-Man. You're stuck to your yoga mat. And then we're going to gently come down all the way into a little side angle bind here. And just breathe into this. Allow your body just to work within the stretch here. Pushing into the feet will allow that strength in the legs, and then you're not dumping that weight into the hand. It can create quite some heat just by working here. And then push all the way back up. And we're going to come to the side of the mat again, into that wide fold. This time hands come forwards. Tuck the toes gently in. push through that big toe mound and the heel and the outer edge of the foot. Engage the core, bend the knees, come forwards. All the way down to the mat. And then just allow a stretch back and forwards in the legs. You might walk the hands one side, stretch through the top body. Work again with that movement. Whatever feels good. You might just want to take the hands wide, explore what that feels like, drawing the head and just allowing the legs to stretch. Until you may want to come to stillness. Pushing all the way back up. And drawing all the way into the center. And just drawing the shoulders back. Sweep the hands and up. And then exhale, cactus. And then take across to one side. Moving that torso with you, not just the arms and the upper body, the whole from the waist, the whole torso. All the way back. All the way across. And then allow yourself just to roll the shoulders, move the feet. And come to the top of the mat. Hands are going to come to the heart. And then you're just going to cross the opposite side. I think we did this a wee while back. And just take a little sink here into a little one-legged balance pose. Allow the foot to come to the mat into a little cross-legged little fold. Draw the feet all the way, stepping towards the back of the mat. Back to plank. Lift the hips to down dog. Engage that back, those shoulders. Pushing those hands away, clawing at the mat. And shift all the way forwards back to plank. And just walk the knees in plank, drawing the knees underneath you. And then come to stillness. Shift the weight forward, half chaturanga or chaturanga. We can do knees, chin, and then all the way to cobra. All the way back down to the mat. Shift the weight back to child's pose, allowing yourself to stretch. Maybe resting the head on the hands, allowing yourself to sink here. Inhaling and exhaling into the whole of the torso. And then just gently rise up by arching the back, lifting, coming up into that half camel position, and hands into the small of the back. Dropping the left hand, inhale the right. And switch. Back and forwards. Dropping yourself back to stack back position. And take little cat-cow. You might even want to drop to the forearms here to play with cat-cow. Coming back to stack back position. We're going to extend the left leg long, keeping it on the mat, pushing through the heel. Soften the arms gently, just keep a little bend in the arm there. And making sure you've got a little bit of a blanket or double yoga mat under your knee. We're going to come to tiger pose. So we're going to take the right arm forwards gently and lift the left arm. And as we do this, the right arm is going to come round the right hand side to catch the left foot, allowing yourself into little tiger pose. So I'm catching the inside of my foot, keeping that knee pointing fairly down. Pushing away from the mat, supporting with my left hand and my right knee and almost my right shin. You can tuck the toe if you need. All the way back to that step back. Extend the right hand foot. If you wish, you can come onto forearms here just for this wee bit, just pushing into that back heel. And this is really good for relieving the feet as well. Stretching through the back of the leg. Bring yourself all the way back up to the mat. Extend the left hand out. Lift the right leg up, bend at the knee and allow the left hand to come and catch the right foot. Little tiger curl pose. Tuck the toes if you're prone to cramp. Quite a strong little pose here. Just be mindful of it. All the way back down to the mat. I'm going to bring our forearms down to the mat. Melting heart pose. Shift the knees gently back. And gently allow yourself space between the arms to gently soften the head towards the mat. But we're not pushing the chest forward in this pose. We're using our forearms to support us. And wherever the gaze is comfy, so that might be, it's just in front of you. So as your nose is just pointing towards the mat. And then we're going to shift forward all the way to Egyptian Lion. Taking a moment here just to allow maybe a little space, so the arms shifting forward slightly. And then we're going to play with a pose that can sometimes feel a bit tricky. And it's a little bow tie pose. It's a good one for shoulders if you can work your way. It's a bit like Twister. So what we're going to do is we're going to have palms up eventually. So I'm going to take my right arm gently towards me and give me some space so I can thread. Okay, then I'm going to take my left arm through with the palm facing up. And then I'm going to allow the right palm to come across. So I look like a pasta twist, I think is a good description here. Now, we need to then lean forwards and shuffle forwards a wee bit to allow ourselves to come forwards. Now, sometimes, and I hadn't prompted you for this because I just came into my head while I was down here, but a block is quite useful. So when we're in this little kind of pasta twist, we shuffle ourselves forwards, getting that height, and it's quite an interesting shoulder opener. The upper back, upper arms, not for everybody, it's a bit like that pigeon pose. But once you kind of get there, you think, oh, okay. And then shuffling out. We come back to that Sphinx pose. And we can come to the other side as well. So allowing ourselves now the left arm to come in. Give yourself space. And the right arm to tuck underneath with the palm facing up. And then the left arm. So bow tie it's called. It's a little yin pose. Shuffling forwards allows us maybe to bring the forehead to the mat as we walk the arms away from us. And if it's just not for you, just take a little lion or take a little child's pose. Allowing yourself maybe to unravel, to come back to a pose that's comfy. And then walk the hands underneath you, and we're going to press ourselves all the way back up to plank. Back to down dog. Walking down dog out. And then we're going to walk our feet all the way to the middle of the mat. Oh, look where we are. Oh, we could just take a moment here. Little stretch. Little balance, maybe a play in crow. Might start to fly a little bit more. Not even taking off. Maybe just pushing into the mat and allowing that weight just to come forwards onto the back of the arms. Pushing away from the mat, engaging the core, pushing the knees into the back of the arms, and then maybe lifting one toe and the other. Shifting back into a little boat pose once we get towards the mat. All the way down and back. And give yourself space. Half boat if you wish. Hands can come behind you if you wish. Supported boat. And take some rounds of breath here. Before we gently bring the feet all the way down to the mat and allow ourselves to roll slowly towards the mat. And come to that flat back on the mat here. Shuffle the shoulders. Maybe bring one knee into the body and extend the other long. Swapping the knees, extending the opposite leg. Drawing the knees into the body and just allowing a little rock back and forward, circling the knees. And one thing that's actually really nice that I think I discovered because my back was aching, you can actually circle the knees individually, and what that does, you need to be careful you're not on a hard yoga mat. It just gives you a little extra kind of rock on the lower back, a little bit more relief, allows you to arch. And that's that exploring that movement. That's what comes from a practice, that you don't hold the shape because that's the shape you have to be in. There are shapes associated with the yoga asanas, but explore what they feel like. And then bring the feet to the mat, knees bent. And just feel yourself really supported here. And observe how the body feels. We've done lots of different types of movement tonight. Tingling when we've done yoga practice often means that we've created energy. We have energy flowing, prana. And then gently engaging the feet on the yoga mat, we're going to come into bridge, lifting the hips gently up. Maybe even walking the feet very gently, but keeping that space between the chest and the chin in the sky. You're very welcome to stretch the hands behind you, avoiding spiky plants, cats, dogs. Drawing yourself slowly towards the mat. And then a slightly different stretch here. I'm going to draw my right foot over my left leg and then catch if you want. You have to kind of come to the langle here, catch if you want. And what we can do, we can stretch that band of the hip there by just gently supporting the ankle with the hand. So I'm just catching that ankle and gently drawing it towards me. Releasing, coming back to center, drawing to the other side, and I'm just gently walking that foot towards me to catch it. You get a stretch all the way down, well, I say you might feel the stretch all the way down the side. And then draw all the way back to the mat. And just allow the knees back and forwards. And you can either come to that constructive rest pose where the knees come together and they just hold you and the feet comes out to the side. The feet come, plural, singular. Or come into that lovely place, that floating on a cloud. Wherever is comfy, just to take some time. Just settling yourself. And allowing the bones in your body to feel heavy, the muscles to feel heavy, every single bit of your body just to feel like the yoga mat is this huge, big, soft cushion that is just allowing you to rest. Really being aware of the support, the heaviness of the backs of the heels and the arms, the shoulders, and softening. So soften the jaw, maybe softening across the brow. And just allow the rise and the fall of the breath. rhythm. With the inhale and the exhale. Maybe just taking a slightly deeper breath, filling and expanding the lungs. And a big exhale. Maybe repeating that. Allowing the breath just to come back to a natural flow. And then just gently bringing awareness to your shoulders. Maybe just gently rolling the head very gently side to side. Awareness of the fingers, moving them gently. And awareness of the toes, waking them. And then very slowly moving onto your side and bringing yourself back up to a seated pose. And taking a moment when you arrive to just gently float the arms up. Draw them hands to the heart. And thank you very much for joining, class.